Salute to y'all. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit them notifications too. Um, Hold on one second, y'all. Um, let's go ahead and let's talk about this situation right here regarding Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. Um, First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the whole entire Lions Den, basketball as well as boxing community, and also want to give a shout out to all of my subs that's been rocking with me day ones as well as my new subs, and also um, I appreciate all of the support of this channel, um, and I also want to give a shout out to um, anybody that has talked about this. I'm not too sure that anybody has talked about this, but I've seen it here and there on the internet. So if you talked about this, I'm giving you a shout out now. I don't know who in particular has talked about this, but I have wanted to talk about this situation with Bi now. Brandon Ingram. Now, when it comes to Brandon Ingram, uh, we all know that Brandon Ingram, um, he has been a large part in the New Orleans Pelicans' success in terms of where they were in comparison to the past. Them getting, them advancing, in the playoffs and what they did this season was remarkable in comparison to where they've been, given the trials and tribulations that they have been faced with in terms of Zion. Okay, now this is what's going on. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. Please forgive me. I think I saw Two Raw touch on it. I'm not quite sure. But I'm gonna give him, his shout out because usually whenever before I talk about something, I don't want everybody thinking that hey, I was the one that got it. If I saw somebody else talking about it, I will, but I don't. I didn't get a chance to listen to his video, but I did see some other people talking about Brandon Ingram as well, but I don't know their names. But I want to say it was too raw, but nevertheless, salute to him. Definitely go sub to his channel. Now with Brandon Ingram, let's let's just take it back, okay? When he came from the Lakers, okay, we all know the situation that was going on. He was slighted by LeBron. He was snaked by LeBron, and when he came over to the New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram hit the ground running. Okay, he had came there in season in 2019. Okay, in 2020, and that was an All Star year. He hit the ground running, and that was a year in which Zion Williamson, he was there. Zion Williamson had came in 1922, but unfortunately he only played 24 games. We all know the track record with Zion Williamson, and that's health. Um, Zion, Brandon Ingram played 62 games, uh, and back then by that standard, before they had put the 65 game rule that was implemented in there, talking about Joe Dumars and Adam Silver. 62 games was somewhat decent considering the injuries and stuff like that. But I like how Brandon Ingram bounces back from those injuries. Said Brandon Ingram went up after the Lakers trade. Yeah, his value did go up, and we're gonna talk about this. So just stay with me. Stay with me if you can. You know what I'm saying? Because this is we're gonna see why Brandon Ingram feels the way that he feels. Now, Brandon Ingram has, in case you don't know, he has put up cryptic posts on social media, basically hinting that it's either I get paid or I'm gonna look elsewhere. Okay, um, and like I said, I want you to know I don't blame Brandon Ingram. Okay, I don't blame Brandon Ingram. So let's continue talking about this. Now, in 2021, he played 61 games. He averaged 23.8. Okay, in 21-22, he played 55 games. He averaged 22.7. In 22-23, he played 45 games. That's the year, he had that injury or whatever, but still was able, to manage playing 45 games, and he averaged 24.7 points before he got hurt, and then of course he just missed the limit of 65 games, or the minimum of 65 games. He played 64 games just this past season, 20.8. But I take into consideration the success that they had. Okay, now with Zion, okay, Zion in 1920 he only played 24 games. Then the very next season in 2021 he played 61 games. Did not play at all because of the foot injury in 21-22. Okay. Then the very next season, he only played 29 games in 22-23. But just this past season, because of the weight restriction clause and everything that they put in his contract, and of course the minimum that Joe Dumars implemented. Okay, he played 70 games, but that was until he got hurt in the playoffs or whatever and chose to sit out. Brandon Ingram, I don't blame the way he feels, okay? And this is why. Zion Williamson in 23, remember, he signed a 5-year, $197 million contract. That's about 39 million a year, okay? All right? He's getting paid damn near 200 million. Brandon Ingram is currently on a $158 million contract, right? Brandon Ingram wants 208 million. He wants 208 million. He wants that money that Zion got. You know why? Because Zion has barely played. He has barely played. Brandon Ingram, meanwhile, while he's had, he's had some slippage here and there because of legitimate injury. But the thing about it is that Brandon Ingram has been able to bounce back. Now, has he struggled here and there with his shooting? Yes. But again, I agree, Stephen. You said he's not getting appreciated. He has the talent, but the team limited his game. He deserves a team. Yeah, exactly. And he's been putting in work. So another slap in the face, though, spinning the block, talking about what we're talking about, is that they signed DeJounte Murray. Okay. And what he's looking at is like, okay, you brought in DeJounte Murray and everything, which I mean, I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? They want to get over that hump. You know, uh, Dejounte Murray, is he a guy that's going to get you over the hump along with C.J. McCullough, along with Zion Williamson? We'll have to see. And a new coach, Willie Green, we'll have to see, because Dejounte Murray, even though I like Dejounte Murray. one of the better two-way players in the league. You know what I'm saying? I've always had. He's one of my favorite players to watch because of the style that he plays. Let's just call it what it is. DeJounte Murray hasn't been under the spotlight or been under as much pressure as Brandon Ingram has in terms of the playoffs, things of that nature. DeJounte Murray he's gotten coverage here and there, but the Pelicans have consistently been those forces in the West. They were a force this year in the West. You have to understand Zion is the number one pick. They're going to give him a big push. And no, hold on. Octavius, I see you in the building. You said Lakers will take Ingram back. Salute to Octavius. Texas always representing, man. Listen, okay. Let me talk to you about this real quick, okay? Now, Steven, I do understand that he's the number one pick, but they draft on potential, and on top of that, they were expecting Zion Williamson to show up. He pretty much was stealing money. You have to go back and you have to go listen to some of these brothers that have talked about this, who I already mentioned. Too raw for TV. He's been constantly talking about the lack of um, you know wanting the lack of will that Zion has displayed over the last couple of seasons or whatever, of him sitting down, stealing money. Ticket has been on him too about his weight, about him gaining weight and stuff like that. That's part of the reason. Salute to Ticket. That's part of the reason why they put a weight restriction clause in Zion, and he's followed that. Now, salute to Zion. He has lost weight and everything, but they're putting pressure on Zion. You don't know what these guys, talk about behind closed door. They probably said, "Hey, look, you've got to do this, that, and the third, or whatever, or you're out of here. You're getting paid 197 million." Which really, let's be honest, does Zion really deserve 197 million over the past couple of seasons in comparison to Brandon Ingram, who's put up 23.8, who's put up 22.7, who's put up 23.8, who's put up 24.7 and 20.8, and has played 62 games, 61 games, 64 games, 55 games, 45 games, in comparison to Zion, who has missed season, right? A full season, who played 24 games, 29 games. Come on, Steven. Let's just be real. Zion Ingram, DeJounte, CJ, we're gonna see if that's gonna work. Wait a minute though. But see, that's the thing, Octavius. We don't know if Brandon, he's seeking 208 mil right now. Okay, he's deserving of 208 mil. And on top of that, Zion went out in the playoffs, right? Brandon Ingram played. Pelicans are starting that rookie center from Baylor. We'll have to see. No way, Zion should earn his money. Yeah, he should earn his money. He should earn his money. JMJ, salute to you. I'll see you in the building, man. They got Murray, got him out of ATL. I guess he wanted to get away from Trae Young. Yeah, I mean, listen, DeJounte Murray wants to go into a good system where he feel like they could win. And he's tired of missing the playoffs. Consistently. You know what I'm saying, or playing in the play-in and all this other nonsense. Dejounte Murray wants to be, in a winning environment, and I think that Dejounte Murray, maybe he may not be able to lead a franchise, like a Luca or like like a Anthony Edwards or nothing like that. But he'll be a good supporting player on a great team. He won't be able to lead a franchise like a Luke, like a Jokic or something like that. But he'll be a good complementary player, a dynamic complementary player at that, because he's a two-way player. Yeah, he's jacking up too many shots. Nobody wants to play with the guy that's jacking up too many shots and leading the league in turnovers. You're supposed to come in with the expectation of a point guard where you're supposed to take care of the ball and that sort of thing, but you're leading the league in turnovers. You might lead the league in assists and everything like that, but at the same time, you're also leading the league in turnovers. Okay, I think he was leading the league in assists. I'm not quite sure. I think it was Trey Young, but I'm not quite sure about that. I know it was him up there, a couple other guys up there, but I know he was leading the league in turnovers. But to get back, spinning the block, talking about this situation, if you're just coming in, please hit the like. Let's just go ahead and go over a review, okay? Here's what's going on. Brandon Ingram is targeting 208 mil right now, okay? He's seeking $208 million. Currently, right now, he's on a $158 million contract. And what I've said is, in comparison to Zion, who signed that, had the rookie deal, a rookie extension, and got paid 5 year, 197 mil. Brandon Ingram is looking at, okay, well, if you're gonna give Zion Williamson that, I need 208 mil because I put in more work. Okay, and he has put in work. Listen, y'all can sit up here. Everybody, not y'all, but I'm saying anybody outside of this can sit up here and try to argue me and say, "Oh yeah, Zion's more entertaining. Oh, Zion does this and Zion does that and everything," but it wasn't equating to wins, and it wasn't really beneficial to the team. Zion Williamson is playing game. He played 24 games the first year he came in. Yeah, second season he played 61 games, but still that's under the minimum. And, of course they put the 65. That's before they implemented the 65 game minimum. But if that by that standard that's not good, then of course he missed the whole entire 21-22 season. Then he only played 29 games because he was back and forth. Oh, I'm not feeling good and all this other stuff. Still had issues. He's only played 70 games uh, up until last year, and he still missed. He was out. Because of the leg issues. I think it was a hamstring, calf, whatever it was, in the playoffs. And people wanted to be cautious because of hamstrings, the calf, that whole sort of thing, might be leading to the Achilles, that sort of thing. You said the Clippers can give Ingram that type, but I wouldn't want. See, if he goes to the Clippers, you got to think about what he'll be dealing with if he went over there. Um, he'll be dealing with James Harden, and he'll be dealing with the same stuff that he's dealing with, as far as potentially Kawhi, because Kawhi's injury history and stuff like that. You said I thought Ingram and Williamson were going to be Dukes of Hazard in a good way, but later on bad way. Yeah, exactly. You said too much gumbo. Yeah, but he's lost weight though now, Octavius. But we'll have to see how that translates to on the court. Too much gumbo and too many IG hoes. Too much Mariah, whatever her name was. Too many porn stars. But the thing about it is okay, you lost weight and everything. What are you going to do coming in? Are you going to be able to sustain that? That's what I was talking about. That weight loss can either hurt or hinder him. Yeah, he lost a lot of weight, but it's not going to be like everybody thinks he's just going to come out there. Oh yeah, he going to play tremendous and stuff like that. No, it's going to take him a while to get adjusted to to his body and get adjusted him accustomed to um, the weight loss and everything and transition that he's been faced with. You said Zion maybe played 30 games this year. He better play a lot more than that. I don't think the Pelicans organization is really playing with this. Listen, do you listen? Brandon Ingram has been a guy, man, that can consistently get you buckets. Does he struggle? Does he have his struggles? Yes. But I don't blame Brandon Ingram for feeling the way that he's feeling because he constantly has shown up and he's been able to bounce back. With Zion, it's like he gets injured and it's like, you know what, I'll just sit down. Meanwhile, you sitting there gorging down hot dogs. You sitting there gorging down Philly cheesesteak. You sitting there gorging down gumbo, like Octavia said. You sitting there, messing around, playing around, with all these IG models and stuff like that. Got all this drama and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being focusing on your game. But then again, that the reason why I question Zion is because then you get on social media doing all and posting all these dunks that you're doing and stuff like that. And people like myself and people like True Rob, people like Brother LB and Brother Ticket, they're wondering, okay, well, if you're able to dunk and high fly and do all this crazy stuff, then why aren't you doing that on the court? How he got injured in that playing game versus the Lakers though. Are you talking about Zion? Because he got injured in the actual playoffs. They weren't in because the Pelicans. Oh, okay. You're talking about in the previous season. Okay, yeah, that was that was strange too. And um you know, I don't know, man. And that's I think that's a good thing for Zion to lose that weight. I've always said that you need to take stress off of your knees and your ankles and your joints and that sort of thing because him carrying 250 plus at only 6'5", six. I know some people think he's 6'7", 6'8", and all this other stuff. Zion is only at best about 6'6", 6'5", 6'6". You know, he's not 6'7", 6'8", and all this other stuff. But Brandon Ingram does deserve his money, and that's what's going on with the Pelicans. He wants his money. Um, he's been an All Star since he's been there. He held it down. Zion in 1920, and I know they're like, oh well, why are you going back to the past straight? Well, we have to call it what it is. Okay, they both played the same amount of games in 2021, but that the year before that in 1920, it was Zion that played 24. Ingram only played 62. Then on top of that, in 21, 22, Ingram played 55 games, still managed to get 22.7. He was injured. Zion didn't play at all. So 21, 22, 19, 20, and 22, 23. If we're doing a comparison and contrast between Brandon Ingram and between Zion, Brandon Ingram deserves his money and he deserves to get paid more. And that's a fact. If I'm the Pelicans organization, let me ask y'all this. Do you if you're the Pelicans organization, are you letting Ingram go? Or are you giving him what he wants? I just need to know. I just need to know. What are y'all doing? I'm doing everything that I can to keep Brandon Ingram because of his experience in the playoffs, okay? Because of his consistency and because of what, he can be counted on. If he gets injured, he's going to bounce back. Kind of like the thing that I always say about like Steph Curry, you know, That's one of the reasons why I have a lot of respect for Steph Curry, because even though he might get injured, he always bounce back. What are y'all gonna do? I want to know. What do y'all do? Are you keeping Bi, or are you letting them go? You said if I'm the Pelicans, I trade Zion, give Ingram the money he wants. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing that you have to understand. Zion is still on a he's still on a deal until 2027. So, the Pelicans are probably going to want it. And then on top of that, you're letting what, 158 million go? That's off the books now. You said I know Michael Jordan is disappointed with Zion. Ain't Zion? Yeah, I mean he's with Jordan Brand. He's with Jordan Brand, but um, I mean, I I put to you like this: he should be more concerned about the Pelicans than Michael Jordan. He should be more concerned about the Pelicans than Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan wasn't the one that put a weight restriction clause in his contract. Michael Jordan isn't the one that um, where he's making the organization actually look bad. Michael Jordan is not the one that is giving him an ultimatum, or like, hey, it's either you lose the weight and cut out all this nonsense that you're doing off the court, or else we're gonna have to let you go. That's what I'm saying. He should be worried more about the New Orleans Pelicans more so than Jordan Brand. Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan, dog. He he's like, look, Don. Man, you want to do your thing. You want to fuck hoes and everything like that. But shoot, man, just get on the court and do what you got to do. He probably told him that plenty of times. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan has pulled him in the office, man, and said, "Look, you you got to step it up." I'm pretty sure he has. I know. Y'all probably disappointed in me. I know, but it has to be said. You know. So Stephen Green says that he willing to trade Zion, but I'm okay. I'm keeping Brandon Ingram. Now I want to keep them both, but I don't have faith in Zion. I don't know what Zion's gonna do. What's up, Ted? Yeah, if you just coming in, Ted, we're talking about the situation that's going on with Brandon Ingram. Now, if you're if you're not aware of the contract situation, um, Brandon Ingram, you said buy out his contract, Zion, but that's huge, man. That's like 200 million, and they're taking on a contract with. Listen, I know Zion done lost his weight. He's lost. No, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? It looks good on the internet and stuff like that. But we still have to see him play. We have to wonder how he's going to do throughout the stretch of the season. Everybody acts like 82 plus games is like, 10 or 15 games or something. You know what I'm saying? Or, 20 some odd games like in high school, or, 30 games in college or something like that. No, this is 82 game season. So if I'm Brandon Ingram, hey, I don't blame him. Give me my 208 million. 158 million. You giving Zion damn near 200 million? 197 million. What? That's 39 million a year. Give me my money. I don't blame him. And if anybody's feeling salty, let me put it into perspective. Zion Williamson has only played 24 games. He missed pretty much all he missed all of 21-22. Only played 29 games in 22-23. Yeah, I mean the only two seasons in which you could say he somewhat put in effort was in 2021. But even still, if you consider, the stuff that was going on with his workout habits and off the court issues and stuff like that, we got to look at 22-23. Yeah, and he played 70 games this season, but guess what? He still was a liability because he was out, in the playoffs. He could have played. So yes, if I'm BI, give me my money. I want my money or whatever. I don't blame him. He's put in a lot for this organization. 64, 62 games. Okay. Like I kind of lower the standard when we're talking about today just a little bit because with BI, and I'm not gonna say lower the standard, but I take into consideration how Brandon Ingram is. He's always been, a guy that puts in work, laid back and everything. I follow Brandon Ingram ever since, he's been at Duke. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't, and I've always hated the way they did, especially how LeBron and the Lakers did him. I didn't like that. He's in his prime to get his back. Yeah, exactly. David Griffin got some choices to do in a little squad. Yeah, I mean, and then you bring in Dejounte Murray. That's kind of and I maybe they didn't mean to do it, but bringing in Dejounte Murray is a slap in the face, kind of. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? You brought in DeJounte Murray, so you got money. Hey, give me my money. I put in 64 games. I put in 61 games. I put in 62 games. I put in 55 games, 45 games. They ain't been missing no whole entire season. Basically, what I'm saying is, okay, I've I might have got injured or something like that, but guess what? I'm bouncing back. I ain't doing what Zion doing. You know what I'm saying? You on the sideline, you know what I'm saying, eating some bourbon cheeseburgers over there from Bourbon Street or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? You said young bucks. Well, hey, DeJounte Murray, yeah, he's still DeJounte Murray's still in his 20s, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's been in the league a few years now. Yeah, man, you sitting up in there, man. Hey, give me my money. You said CJ and Murray might not gel. I disagree with that, Ted. I think because CJ McCullough likes those type of players. CJ McCullough once it got he CJ McCullough couldn't deal with a player like a Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is not going to play both ends of the floor. DeJounte Murray, he's going to play both ends of the floor. DeJounte Murray was leading the league and still, it's just that DeJounte Murray hasn't been able to be in a winning situation. Now, the question is he going to be coachable? Because there have been some times when I have heard about DeJounte Murray that he could be kind of stubborn in some sense. He had issues, of course, with Popovich. Popovich isn't a easy coach to deal with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you're strong minded, then you'll be able to deal with it. But that's why he kind of thought back. I think it was in an interview or something like that, and he said, "Yeah, I would love to play for Pop again." But in the beginning, he didn't feel like that because he was so you got to be real strong minded to deal with a tough coach like Popovich, like Greg Popovich. Alvarado. Yeah. Yeah, Alvarado. But like I said, man, if I'm Brandon Ingram, I don't blame him. I understand exactly what he's saying. Give me my money. Give me what Zion is making, because Zion, oh, you now you want to play. Now you just played 70 games, but you didn't even play the stretch of the playoff. I mean, you played, you had one season. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you want to skip over me? We're not gonna do that. Lemon Pepper Lou, I see you in the building. How you feeling? Make sure y'all go sub to Lemon Pepper Lou, aka Lou the Writer. I don't know anything. What's going on since ESPN and Blackout right now? All right, this is what's going on. Okay. Uh, Now you said he has a deep bag like KD. Yeah, but we don't want him to be unhealthy like KD. This is what's going on. If you're just coming in, Brandon Ingram is unhappy with his contract situation. Okay, he's on a current $158 million contract right now. He wants 208 mil. The reason why I'm making this video is because he made a cryptic post. Shout out to the brothers that talked about it. The only one that I saw really talking about it was Too Raw for TV. But you have to understand that Zion Williamson has barely played since he's been in. Yes, he deserves it, Lou. And he made a cryptic post hinting the fact that, look, it's either you give me my money or I'm gone. Zion Williamson has barely played, Lou. Zion Williamson played 24 games when he first came in as a rookie. He played 61 games. Other than that, he missed 21, 22, only played 29 games, and then 70 games just this past season, in which he didn't even he got out because of the leg or whatever. And then when he could have played, everybody felt like he could have played. He pulled a Donovan Mitchell, yo boy. Whereas Brandon Ingram, he came in, he was an all-star his first year, played 62 games, put up 23.8. In 2021, 61 games, 23.8. Same amount as Zion that season. Okay, amount of games rather. Then in 2022, the thing about it, he got hurt, but he still managed to play 55 games. Okay, 22.7 points per game. 2023, sort of similar. He played. That's the least amount of games he played was 45, and that was in 22-23 season. He was hurt, 24.7, but he bounced back, played 64 games, still had some injury issues or whatever. 20.8 points per game, but they had success in the postseason. By their standards, they had some success. Thing about it is the Pelicans are probably looking at it as, oh yeah, you've been hurt too, but not as much as Zion. And you're giving Zion, he was able to sign, a rookie extension in 23. It's like they gave him that money. They gave a guy money. It's like he stole money pretty much. You gave him $197 million when Brandon Ingram been putting in the work. He's looking at it like, okay, and then you brought in DeJounte Murray. That's a slap in my face. I'm like, wait a minute. I've been the one that's been putting in the work. Wouldn't y'all feel that way? I thought Larry Nance Jr. and Valanciunas were going to get it together too, with Ingram and Zion and others. What? I mean, they did. Valanciunas has done a solid job. Listen, JMJ, Valanciunas. Now, Larry Nance Jr. has done a solid job defensively, but if we're going Valanciunas versus Larry Nance Jr., Valanciunas has averaged a double-double since he has been a Pelican. I mean, with the exception of this past season, I think he only averaged 12 points, and he was under um, double figures in rebounds. I think it was like 8 or 9 rebounds or something like that. But he's still done a solid job. They just fell a little short, but they had success in the postseason. So they do got it together. You know who doesn't have it together? The Pelicans organization. They don't have it together to let this slip up under the crack. The fact that you're only paying um, you're only paying Bi Brandon Ingram 158 million, but you're paying a guy who has barely put in work in Zion 197 million, damn near 200 million. Come on now. And then on top of that, he he's only really had a one solid professional season by right now standards. If we're going by Joe Dumars standards, the standards of a 65 game minimum, he's only had one solid season. And the reason why I don't put Brandon Ingram in that category is because uh, he'll have an injury, but he'll bounce back, and he's been managing to play 60 plus games. You understand what I'm saying, JMJ, Lemon Pepper, Lou Ted. You know what I'm saying? Like and Octavius, Stephen Green, everybody that's up in here. I'm listen. I'm looking at it from a standpoint. Okay, if you I mean, listen. Zion has heard everybody. I'm not the major one. Listen, guys like Zion, AD, uh, you know, guys that just stay hurt all the time and want to sit down and stuff like that, they do need to hear a guy like Ticket. They do need to hear LB, and they do need to hear Too Raw, and they need to hear myself too, and as well as a few other guys. Sports and Fitness Rant. Shout out to him. Angry Old Hoop Fan. Few other guys, man, that have really been talking about how these guys, they're so concerned with, okay, the the leisure outside of basketball as opposed to what's going on the court. It's okay to have leisure outside of the basketball. The guys did it back in the days. I mean, Larry Bird was drinking, Dennis Rodman was drinking, partying, messing around with females, clubbing, party animal, but he still did his work. Michael Jordan, you saw it on the Dream Team documentary. We don't need to say that. I mean, you saw it on the Last Dance documentary. What were they doing in the training room? Him and Scottie Pippen. They were having a beer, and or Michael Jordan would have a cigar. You know what I'm saying? Before the game. This was before the game. So I don't want to hear all these excuses of talking about, oh yeah, well I got this going on, I got that going on, da 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 da. Brandon Ingram is not that type of guy. Brandon Ingram, he probably do his little thing or whatever, but he always showing up to work. Zion Williamson in the past, he hadn't done that in comparison to Zion Williamson. I mean, in comparison to Brandon Ingram. Yeah, they say you hate it, but it's facts. They don't want. Listen, I call out all of my. Listen, every player that I like I like Ant Man, but I'm gonna call him out. I like the way Zion plays. I like Zion reminds me so much of LJ. And for those of y'all that don't know, I had a coach that was really good friends with Larry Johnson. I've seen Larry Johnson play before my eyes as a kid, and I had the opportunity to see him from afar, and also my coach actually played with him. He played with him when he was younger. Like used to play with him, knew him growing up in Texas. So like when I look at Zion, I look at LJ or whatever. But that doesn't excuse the fact of your laziness. That doesn't excuse the fact that you need to get in there and work on your craft. That doesn't excuse the fact that you're letting all of these distractions detour you from helping be a pillar for this franchise to go in the right direction. Yeah, if it were for the back, he also had knee injuries too. He had knee injuries. Yeah, Larry Johnson was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think he was fat and all this other stuff. Nah, in comparison to like Zion, nah, he was solid muscle, and would come down. He was power and finesse. He could hit the jumper. You know what I'm saying? Could shoot a mid range. Could back you down. Could drive. Could face you up. You know what I'm saying? Played a little defense. You know what I'm saying? LJ was that guy. He could run in transition. Especially when he was at UNLV, coming down with the grill. But it doesn't. You don't get exempt any smoke. As much as I like Dame Lillard, you're gonna get the smoke if you're not playing good. Giannis, one of my favorite players too. You're gonna get the smoke if you're not playing good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hold everybody accountable whether I like them or not. KD, I think he got the prototypical basketball game, but you're gonna get the smoke regardless. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, but that wasn't LJ. But I mean, he was hitting that jumper though. He was hitting that jumper. So I mean, guys like myself, Luda Ryder, because Luda Ryder he's been constantly telling them about themselves too. Um, Stephen Green, Ticket, the brother Ted on here. Octavius, brother Octavius, because he part of the LDBC too. James, Nola Boy, LB, Chicken, everybody, man. Like with Anthony Davis, he's another prime example. I like Anthony Davis' game. Anthony Davis is, he stepped it up this year. You know why? Because everybody was getting on him about him constantly getting on the ground, crying. He's dramatic. I want to win a Emmy or Academy Award and uh, all this. Like you would have thought he played in Forrest Gump or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like this was, like Bubba's last round or something like that when Forrest was in the army and stuff like that. Oh Bubba, no. You would have thought it was that type of magnitude. You know what I'm saying? Or like like this menace to society every time he get on the ground or something like that. Not my nigga. Like, come on, man. Just, you got hurt. All right, you done. You bounce back. That's what I respect about Brandon Ingram. I don't have nothing bad to say about. Only thing that bad I got to say about Brandon Ingram is sometimes his shot selection. Okay, sometimes his shot selections can be kind of questionable, and sometimes he could be a little bit um, kind of less aggressive than what I would like him to see, or a little passive sometimes. But other than that, Brandon Ingram has been solid since he's been in New Orleans. He's been that guy. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he should have got an All Star nod in 20 and 21. He should have made two straight All-Star games, considering the work that he put in. Since he's been there, since Andrew, I mean not Andrew, since Brandon Ingram has been there, he's averaged 23.1 points per game. I don't, I don't think the Pelicans will give Ingram any type of money. They invest more in Zion. Well, they'll be very stupid if they did that. You said when you're not the face of the team, they're not going to give you any type of respect. And see, that's why they're not going to go in it. David Griffin, man, David Griffin, I don't really like his way of thinking either. Listen, if I put it to you like this, nah, man, listen, I'm gonna just be real, okay? Are y'all ready for this? Do y'all want me to be real? Because I'm just about to go ahead and say it. Jeannie Bucks is probably doming the shit out of LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And he probably letting that motherfucker go deep down her throat. That's why he able to get the money that he get, and he he's able to do what he wants to do in LA. If he had that type of freedom, then Brandon Ingram would be able to do the stuff that he's doing. He probably letting that motherfucker go all over there, everywhere with Linda Rambis too. I'm just being honest with you. But Brandon Ingram ain't getting the respect that he deserves. That's why he got snaked the way he did in LA. Pretty much got snaked when he was in LA. Brandon Ingram, all he wants to do, he's kind of like KD. You know, he just wants to play ball. Is he a hardcore vocal leader and all this other stuff? No, but he's more of a lead by example type. Would I like him to be more vocal? Yes, but he's been a professional. That's what I respect about Bi. And I know some people mad about what I just said, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Now we don't know if LeBron is actually doing that sort of thing, but just I've been taught to use common sense and put two and two together and everything like that. It don't take a rocket science to really see what's going on here. And the fact that they're letting, what's up with it, Alex? They're letting Zion get 190, get away with everything that he's doing, getting $200 million in comparison to Bi getting paid 158 million, and he all he's asking for is a 50 million dollar increase. Give me my money. I want 208 mil. You giving Zion 197 million. I want my money. Or I'm getting them, I'm going somewhere else. And see if they let him go and he ends up going to a place and they end up winning a championship or going really far, the Pelicans are gonna feel real stupid because you brought in DeJounte Murray, okay, and then if you do worse than what you did last season, what are we talking about right here? What's up with it, Trudy King? Make sure y'all go sub to the homie Trudy King. Talks about a conglomerate of everything. I gotta ask Trudy King. Trudy King, you paying Bi or you letting him go? Are you paying Bi? Are you giving him 208 mil? Does Bi deserve more money than Zion, considering what he done? I want to hear from Trudy King. Trudy King is a hard worker. True to King serve his country. Okay? It's honoring that. It ain't no honoring it and sitting down. Zion gives up, man. If it, if you know what I'm saying, like 24 games, 29 games, missed an entire season. He should have never left the Lakers, but LeBron, he was gonna have to leave. He was gonna have to leave. They were gonna make him leave. They were gonna make him leave regardless. LeBron didn't want him there, and they sided with LeBron. And he playing on rocks and playing on eggshells. Shoot, he was gonna have to go, Lou. But check this out. He made it a better situation. 62 games that year. In 1920, 62 games, 23.8, and was the All-Star. Should have made an All-Star team the very next year. Dude was hooping, man. When he first got there, everybody was looking at that. Now we know, what ended up taking place. Eventually, the Lakers, they ended up winning, the pandemic championship and everything. But you can't take away what he's given the organization. He's given the organization 5 solid years. Okay, 2 of those seasons, he got hurt really bad. He's been hurt here and there the other seasons or whatever. But he deserves his money in comparison to Zion Williamson. But on that note, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Make sure y'all go sub to the brother Trudy King, Stephen Green, and Lemon Pepper Lou, or Lou the Rider. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire Lions Den basketball community. And I'll get at y'all later.